So thank you guys so much for taking the time to call in tonight. I really appreciate it. I really love getting to see all your faces and to get the opportunity to chat live and to feel your inspiration and how you guys are doing. And if you guys have any questions, we can answer those questions. So thanks for calling in. And does anyone want to recognize anyone this week for an achievement or anything great that's happening in their business or anything?
So I want to congratulate Cindy for welcoming a new coach to her team today. That is super exciting. And she has a team name as well. Cindy, I don't know if you want, because that's like so exciting when you like, so I don't know if you wanted to share with everybody what your team name is.
It is Body and Mind Evolution.
Ooh, I love it.
And like the initials are B Me, which I think is like so cool. So anyway, and my whole team's just kicking butt and taking names and all of that good stuff. But I thought it was exciting that that happened today. So that's all.
Yeah, I want to say that I'm really so impressed with the Ambition Army. Like, you guys are rocking it, and you know, I hope Lindsay feels it. Like, I try to tell her all the time, like, how amazing coach she is, and I'm just super impressed with what you guys are doing. And really everyone on this call, but you know, that's awesome, Cindy. That's, I can see like Be Me like on like clothes. Like, I think it's gonna be so awesome. So that's really great. I love when people come up with their team names because I feel like you do have to really think about it. I remember when Jenny was thinking of hers, and she really like loved like the program, which like she felt like a warrior. So she's like, I feel like this is like my thing, and so I think it's fun when you can connect with it and you know, really have a meaning behind it. So really cool. I love it. So I'm gonna let Jenny speak first. She's kind of gonna give her overview and notes of what she gathered from the Darren Hardy webinar. Honestly, guys, like, this is just another reason to hit Success Club every month beyond building your business, getting able to go on free trips, you know, bringing on new coaches, whatever it may be. There's so many things. Getting the monthly Success Club prize that Beachbody gives us every month. Success Clubs should be a non-negotiable in your business. It's so important. And you know, this is one of the gifts they gave us this month, and this call literally blew my mind. And Jenny and I were talking about it, so we're so excited to bring this information to you guys. So Jenny, why don't you get started?
All right. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, I'm so excited too. And actually, it's funny because
Jenny,
Darren Hardy.
Stop you for 1 sec. Sorry. I'm going to
see if I
can mute everyone because there is
some
stuff. Does anyone know how to do this? Audio
I think there's a button for mute all somewhere, but is it settings?
I know I found it before. Sorry, guys.
I know. I've seen it before too. I just can't remember.
Oh, I got it.
You got it? All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. So thank you, Heather. I'm so excited to see everybody. It's been a while. Monday nights have been so hard for me. So I'm so glad to be in front of you guys and seeing your faces. And Lindsay, I love that super smile of yours. You have so much energy, and congratulations to your team. And that is super exciting, Cindy, that you're creating your team and building. I do remember when I was in that same spot, and it's so exciting. So congratulations to everybody. So what I was about to think about was when I first started in the business, and Heather told me right off the bat she wanted me to read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and I did. So I probably read that book within maybe a week, and it blew my mind, and it set my mindset for everything that I did. But it also gave me a set of realistic expectations, and knowing that if I just do little minimal things day after day, they will compound over time. And that's essentially what it is. You know, if you haven't read it, I'm sure everybody has at least heard of it, or if not read it. But the other thing too that blew my mind was the fact that you ebb and you flow, and that's just natural in life. And you will have amazing months, and you will have months that are a little bit slow, but you have to remember that whatever goes up must come down and vice versa. And that really kind of kept my momentum going when I had those slow months. So Darren Hardy always really kind of spoke to me, and I was so grateful that I read that book first and foremost. And I always recommend that to people when I first introduce them to the business also. So again, I was super excited to be on that webinar the other day, and so I took some notes. I took like 4 pages of notes. They got soaked because I was making coffee and putting dishes away. That's me. I'm totally a multitasker, but I think I can decipher them. So I'm going to go through kind of the highlights of it. And then at the very end, if you guys were on his webinar, you know that he gave us a free gift at the end. And I'm going to share, I listened to the first part of the free gift. So I'm going to share a quick story from that as well that just really put things into perspective for me also. So one of the quotes he started off with was, success isn't what you start, it's what you finish. And he said, just like, you know, any workout program or anything you do in life, so many people want to start something and they get rolling, and then for whatever reason things get tough and you quit and you give up. And his big mantra is no pain, no gain. That when it gets hard, the people that succeed push through it, and they end up succeeding in a big way, because the majority of the competition falls out, right? They don't want to push themselves. So he brought in a lot of realistic examples. He used a lot of analogies from sports. So one of them was a race, a guy that liked to run track who always came in second place. And he was an amazing racer, and he just couldn't figure out why he came in second place every single time. So I guess one of these amazing coaches was watching him and said, do you want to know why you always come in second place? And he said, yeah, obviously. And the coach told him it's because right before you cross the finish line, you look behind your shoulder to see who's behind you. And just by distracting yourself that little bit, that is when you give up your race and you lose, or you come in second. So his big mantra, or I guess quote that he wanted to share with us, was focus on breaking the tape, or focus your energy moving forward 100%, and really be cautious of distractions. And I am so guilty of distractions. It's not even funny. Those of you that know my personal life, I took on a new job this year, which is absolutely amazing. It's a dream job, and I don't want to lose it. And I want to give everything I can, 110%. So I've been trying really, really hard to find a healthy balance in my life. So what he talked about was identifying things that can potentially distract you and create these prevention plans for yourself. So, for example, if you know that the holidays are going to be a distraction for you, you know that you're going to end up going to all these parties, you have to plan in advance how you're going to work around that. So identify what it is that could possibly throw you off that little millisecond of, time in that race, and what do you need to do to keep your mind focused forward, which I thought was really cool. So he talked a little bit about the difference between extraordinary and ordinary is just a little bit. And if you can find a way to do just 2 or 3 extra little things, every day, every week, every month, that is going to give you just the slight edge that you need to reach your goals. So he mentioned the hammer and chisel coming out, and how really we should be focusing our energies kind of towards that, and promoting that, and focusing on our 3 vital behaviors, of course, but building that momentum for the hammer and chisel, so that when that comes out, everybody is just so excited for it. So I don't know if, again, if you guys are familiar with Darren's story, but he mentioned reframing pain. So when you go through a challenge, or when you go through a rejection, or, things get tough for you, you're not hitting your goals, right? To actually welcome that which is weird to think about. But again, thinking back to his childhood and upbringing, he had a military father who was so strict and rigid, and he followed the belief that no pain, no gain. You do it, you suck it up, and then you get incredible results. And that's kind of what he was saying, that when you go through pain, that is how you grow, and that is where the results are. So he kind of talked about how comparing that to a bicycle when you go to spin class, or a car, whatever, anything that has that red line, right? So that speedometer, odometer, whatever you want to call it, when it gets to the red line, that is where the results are, but you can't maintain it. You can, it's just not realistic. But if you can get in there for a little while, come back out, you're going to start seeing results. So just find a way to push yourself a tiny bit more. Maybe send out 3 more invites than you were doing. Read a little bit more in a day. Find a way to listen to that podcast when you're in the shower. Find a way to create something new this month that's going to bring in new business for you. Stop making excuses and find a way to make that happen, which is, not, again, it's not easy. But when you find a way to work through the challenges, that is where the results live. And I've experienced that personally tons and tons of times in my life, especially recently. It sucks when things are tough. It's not fun, and we can either choose to let it ruin us and define us, or we can choose to perspire, persevere, work through it, find inspiration and guidance through people that have been there. And then, on the other side of that, things start happening. So knowing that it'll happen is important. All right. So he was just trying to set us up for January. All right. So the majority of the last half of his call was about the last 45 days of the year. Our job right now is all about setting our calendar so that when January 1st comes, we are ready, right? We're booked. So he was saying we should prioritize our contacts. So go through your contacts list right now and figure out who would want the hammer and chisel, who would be interested in that. Think about the time of the year. It's going to be, January 1st, right? So everyone's going to want to jump in. Everyone's going to have these goals. Start making a list of people that have been talking to you saying, you know what, after December, after the holidays, I'll join in, right? Well, if you forget about those people, you're going to lose out, right? So start prioritizing your contact list now. He also said to make emotional deposits and to compare your emotional deposits to kind of a bank account, if you will. So let's say you have like 10 or 12 people that you are so sure that you could help in some way, right? They just don't see it yet for whatever reason. Start depositing all this love into them and start showing them that you believe in them, and start liking their posts and start commenting on stuff and start just giving them stuff and giving them opportunities. I've been trying to give away Shakeology. I've been trying to do my free clean eating groups, just anything to give people that little sense of, wow, you care about me. I matter to you, right? So doing things like that now, because once January comes around and they're looking to sign a gym membership or they're looking to start somewhere, they're going to know who to go to, right? And you're going to be right there. So he said to pick about 12 people and start really focusing in on them. You want to be looking not only at customers, but prospects, for recruiting, right? Coaches. Start thinking about promotions that are going to be coming our way. And again, the hammer and chisels coming our way. We can take advantage of that. I'm sure Carl's got other ways. He's totally going to blow our mind. I'm so excited for the challenge group app that they keep talking about that I still don't know when the release date is, but I know that's going to be a game changer when that comes out. So I can't wait to start sharing that. And then to start really putting time into our team members as well. And remembering that it's important to have that camaraderie, right? That's so important. So he talked about the masses, that when everybody starts saying, you know what, it's getting tough. The holidays are here. I'm going to just take a little break. You're not. You should do the opposite. Whatever the masses do, you should do the opposite, right? So anytime people think a certain way, a general way, like, you know what, the holidays are here, you should automatically do the opposite. So that was a cool way of thinking. So a couple more real quick. He talked about making a number one goal for 2016. All right. So again, looking forward to January, make yourself this huge mind-blowing goal that if you hit that goal, Shalene calls it a push goal, right? You probably heard the push goal. If you hit that goal, all of your other goals are going to fall into place, right? So start creating that number one goal now, and then really work on finding ways that you can work towards building up to that goal. So I'm so excited. I'm pushing for 5-star diamond in 2016. I'm setting that goal and I want it, and I'm going to make it happen, and I'm going to visualize it. And I fully believe that it will happen this year. So that's my goal. You guys heard it here. He's talked about growing into your goals. So make the goals, and then you'll find a way to grow into it, right? If you put it out there, put that energy out there, you will find ways. It'll come to you if you have that faith, right? So real quick, a couple other things that I thought was interesting. If you're serious about your goal, back it up with cash, right? So he was saying 10% of your income should be given to others. So spend it on, charity, or donating if you can, or like me, I've been buying extra Shakeology and just giving the heck away. But seriously, think about what your 2016 income will be, and then start spending it before you even, this is kind of scary, right? But then take another 10% and spend it on yourself, and spend it on developing yourself. So I've always wanted to join like Shalene's Creative Confidence Club, or any of the other online academies that are offered by even John Maxwell or Darren Hardy, or any of these guys that offer them. They cost like between probably $200 and $500. Some of them go up to $1,000, and I'm like, I'm not spending that money. Guess what? I'm doing it this year. I don't care. I'm investing into it, because where you put your money, where you put your time, that is where you will get the results. I believe it, and I'm going for it this year. So I'm prepared to spend $1,000 on myself, personal development, going to conferences. And speaking of which, Heather, I am booking my flight to LA. It's going to cost me like maybe $500 for a plane ticket, and I'm going to LA for the new leadership retreat. So I'm so excited for that. So there's all kind of the information. So I just wanted to share with you real quick. He said that everybody asks, how much does it cost, right? How much does it cost? So, I see your post about Shakeology. How much does it cost? And I never respond right away, right? That's like, no, because you want to, get time to get to know them. But he was saying, don't ever ask how much it costs. Ask how much it's worth. How much is it worth, right? Because if we can place that value on stuff, right? Even the personal development stuff that I was just saying, I can justify now spending $300 or $500 on something if it's going to change me personally, right? Why wouldn't I? When you look at it that way, right? So don't ask how much it costs. Ask how much it is worth. I thought that was cool. So he gave us 2 gifts. He said, and you guys can honestly try it, see if the link's still up if you haven't. But if you go to livingyourbestyearever.com, you can download a free audio book that he put together for us. And I don't know if it's still up there, but I was able to download it. And then he suggested going to darrendaily.com and getting some daily inspiration that he'll send right to your inbox. So real quick, from the audio book that he gave us, I was listening to it this morning, and he talked about, it's kind of a corny story, but it's got some meaning to it. He talked about an eagle that had these eggs. I don't know if you guys heard the story. So the eagle had its nest, and 4 or 5 eggs in the nest, and one of them fell out, right? Tragic. And it lands in a chicken coop. So naturally, the egg hatches, the little baby eagle pokes its head out, and it's raised by chickens, right? And it grows up, and believes it's a chicken, right? It's living with chickens in this chicken coop. And every single time that chicken or that eagle would look up in the sky and see eagles flying, he would say, I want to fly. Like, I'm meant to do more. And the chickens would tell him, no, you're not. You're just a chicken. I want to cry. And he kept on saying that. He kept on saying, I'm meant to do more. I know I'm meant to do more. And the chickens would tell him, no, you're not. You're just a chicken. Like, stop. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And eventually he died. He died a chicken. He died believing he was a chicken, even though he was an eagle. So, so Darren's question to you was, are you going to die a chicken? Which is kind of scary to think about. But, the way he put it was the majority of people go through life believing that they can't do something because people tell them they can't do it, right? And the very few that just don't listen and just go their own route and follow that inner desire or inner drive that we have to do more, because we all have it when we're little kids. We have these big dreams. We're going to be pop stars. We're going to be lawyers. We're going to be all these crazy things, right? And then we grow up and no, you can't do that. I can't do that, right? But if you find that inner desire to do more, you'll do it. You've just got to believe it. So don't be a chicken, be an eagle. And that's all I have for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny. That was so great. And I absolutely love that story too. I think almost everyone on this call could probably relate to someone putting them down and not believing in them. Or maybe it was a self-belief issue in yourself, and it wasn't even coming from people, and you just believed that you couldn't do the things that you really were meant to do or that you wanted to do. So I love that story, and it is sad. It's funny. It's like you're in between laughing and crying because you're talking about chickens, but the meaning behind it is so powerful. And if you guys can I'll post in the page these links after the call, and hopefully there's the opportunity. I mean, Lisa said that they were still there yesterday, so hopefully you guys can download these things. I just want to hint on a few things that Jenny talked about. She did a great job covering the call. Thank you so much, Jenny. It really was so powerful. And if you guys really aren't a Darren Hardy follower yet and have read his books and, taken the time to listen to his podcast, I highly, highly recommend it, because he lights this fire inside of me. He's so powerful. And I love his story. I love his story about his military background with his father, which he explains in a lot of detail in The Compound Effect. Because I think that might've been his first book. And, the reason why he is the person he is today is because his father was so hard on him, and he was such a disciplined man, and he kind of brought that onto his son. So, I want to talk again a little about, a few things that Jenny talked about. And, one of the first things he said again was, success isn't what you start, it's what you finish. And few finish. And that really spoke to me, because it was few finish, really. And it's so true. There's so many things that we start every day. And I was just talking about this with another coach the other day. She's having trouble with one of her coaches because she keeps setting goals for herself, but she never sees the goal through because she's concerned. And it's no one on this team, so I just want to make that clear. I'm not talking about anyone here in the third person. She's not seeing the goal through, and then because she's taking a little bit to get there, so she kind of loses that momentum and kind of loses loses the belief that she can get there. So she changes the goal, and then she does it again, so she doesn't achieve that goal, so then she goes back to the other goal. So it's really important, guys, to set a goal, set that huge goal for 2016 and focus on it and see it through. Go to the finish. Do those extra things that you need to do in order to get it. Don't be scared of that, because the extraordinary person from the ordinary person is that few extra things, like Jenny's saying, that you just have to do to push through in order to achieve it. Really seeing through right now to January 1st is going to be so crucial in all of our businesses. I'm not going to lie to you guys. These are tough months for this business. I mean, we're in the health and fitness industry, and we're coming up on holidays. That's a no-brainer. People do not want to commit right now because they're scared of failing. That is the number one reason, guys. They're going to tell you it's money because it's an easy out, because people know you spend money in the holidays. I'm telling you right now, it's more of the scared of failing because, they know that they're going to be around food and drinks and all of this stuff all of the time. They're going to be at parties. They're going to be busy. of course money is a factor, but it's more of the failure. So, I was just talking with a girl earlier and she was like, I don't know if I had the money. And then I told my story and like, now we're continuing to talk instead of allowing that door to close and just accepting the fact that she said, you know what, I just don't have the money right now. I said, you know what? And I got this from kind of this behavior and how to respond to her through Bonnie's call that I posted in the team page the other day. I said, you know what? I said, I was there. I said, I had no business buying this program when I first bought it. I said, I needed a change in my life. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was overweight. I was depressed. I had no self-respect for myself. The list goes on and on. I charged it on my credit card when I shouldn't have charged it. I was already $10,000 in debt, but I did it because I knew I needed that change. And I just made it happen. And I said, you know where I am today? I said, I got amazing results and I started to coach because I wanted to pay forward to others. And now I'm very financial stable. I'm traveling the world. I'm doing these things that I always wanted to do. And her response was, wow, that's amazing. And now we're continuing that conversation because I was real with her, because I showed her that I'm a person on the other side of of Facebook. And because this is someone from my like page. So I don't know this person at all, but now I'm relatable to her. Now that I'm showing her that, I had the same struggles, I can relate to her story. And together we can make it work. I said, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you in any way that I can? And based on what Darren Hardy is saying, guys, and I'm going to jump around a little bit, but like him saying investing 10% into yourself and into this business, the reason why you guys are seeing me thriving right now is because I'm doing that tenfold. I'm probably investing, my mom does a lot of my finances and tracks everything, but I'm pretty sure I'm investing at least 10% into my business right now, into you guys, into potential customers, if not more. I'm really taking that extra mile in order for people to understand that I'm here. I truly, truly care about them, and I'm earning that trust by investing in them. And what that means is it's simple things, guys. It doesn't need to cost a fortune. I'm sending samples of Shakeology if I really think that they're interested and they're actually going to purchase them. One of my new coaches, she's not on this call, but what I've been doing lately is if I'm talking to someone and I feel like they could really use this opportunity, but they don't have that faith in themselves, they don't have that belief, they feel like they really can't do it, I just send them a personal development book. I'm like, hey, I'll be talking to them about something and I just say, can I have your address? I'd love to send you a sample, or I'd love to send you a used book or something. I don't send them a used book. I send them a brand new book, and I probably send them something else. And they get the package and they're blown away because I took that little bit of time and that little bit of money in order to show them that I truly want to help them. Because earning that trust in them is huge. And it takes a little bit of income. It takes a little bit more of time to keep building that relationship and closing that sale. But I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. Few of my new coaches are people that I did this with, and I didn't even expect them to coach. To be honest, you can't expect anything. I didn't even know if they would end up buying a challenge pack, but I believed in building that relationship and what it could do for them. And I knew it would help them regardless if it was going to help me. And that's what you need to do. You need to give before you get. We're in the business of helping people, and that's huge. And it's going to go a long way in your business, guys. So try to get in that mindset going forward into the new year. Another thing for me that was so powerful was when he said, going that extra mile, doing a little bit more than the other people are doing. So another example he used, like Jenny was saying, he used a lot of sports examples. So when he was talking about winning and how you just do a little bit more, I don't remember their names because I don't follow golfing at all, but there were two of the star golfers right now, the male golfers. And he said, excuse me, the one in first place, was I don't know. He was at this highest level, okay, and he was making $9 million a year. Sorry, that doesn't sound
Hey,
how much was it?
No, so wasn't he talking about their putting average, Heather?
Yeah, their putting average, how well they were doing. And
yeah.
I don't remember what the statistic was, but he said basically he was making more than double the money that this other guy was making by 0.5. He was only ahead of him by 0.5. Literally, and all of the putts that they had done throughout their entire career, 0.5 is what made the difference. So the little extra mile, the little extra practice that this guy put in made that huge of a difference in the success that he had, the income that he had created for himself. I'm sorry I butchered the story a little bit, but I hope you guys understand that it's like just that little much really gets you to where you really want to be. So write down 2 to 3 things that you could do a little bit more. Is it inviting? Is it recruiting? Is it sharing the products? Honestly, take a step back and think about this, guys. What could I do a little bit more of? Where could I put a little bit more of my time? Where can I be a little bit more disciplined that's going to be a life changer in my business? Maybe it is taking that extra time to really build those relationships with people and earn that trust. I mean, I'm sure if you're serious about this business, you're probably talking to people, so you're doing that. Maybe you could be talking to more people, but are you taking that extra step? Are you showing them that you can relate to their story? Are you showing them that you can be trusted and that you actually really want to help them with their goals? And on the same kind of statement as that, like with planning, with what you can do differently, book your time. When like he was talking about, like Jenny said, booking, be fully booked going into the new year. And what that means, guys, that means not only setting up meetings with people come the new year, if they say, I can't do it right now, I'm going to do it, after the new year. Tell them, okay, what is good for you? I will get in touch with you after the new year. I don't think Beachbody coaches think about that enough because we're scared to think of ourselves as salespeople or recruiters. But this is what anyone would do. He was relating it to his first business, selling real estate. So he put them in his calendar and he stayed true to that and he followed up with them. So I think this is something we should really try to implement for our team. But when he says get fully booked, he's not just talking about his business. He's talking about scheduling time for everything that matters to you. What are your values? He said, if someone tells me that they can't do something, if they don't have the money to spend on a program, he says, you know what I ask them? He says, I tell them to pull out their calendar and their checkbook and this was mind blowing to me, guys, because it's so true. You can tell what someone's true values are by looking at their checkbook and by looking at their calendar. What are they spending most of their time doing? That's what they're making a priority. So for you guys, I know a lot of the coaches on this call have been getting stressed out. They can't find that balance. They don't know, like, where should I be putting my time to be successful? Where should I be putting my time in order to still feel like I'm like giving to my family? So I think one of the best things, honestly, from a personal standpoint that came out of the call, he said, book it, write it in, write everything in. He said, book your workouts, book your romance time, book your family time, book your social time, book your spiritual time, book your personal development. And on top of that, book those things first is what he's saying, and then schedule your planning, your leadership, and your prospecting. Make those other things, guys, that are your values a priority as well. You can balance it all. You just have to be disciplined in order to do that. It really will make such a difference in your business and a difference in your life. And feel like, you're not trying to go like stretch yourself above and beyond, and that, couple days you can only devote yourself to Beachbody, and then, you have to completely stop that for a couple days in order to devote yourself to your family. Like, the best thing you can do is to keep that consistency, but keep it in a way that makes sense for you, that makes you happy, guys. The worst thing for me is to have someone to reach out to me and like they're just broken and they're like, oh my God, help me, I'm so overwhelmed. Like, and it happens, and I'm not saying it's not going to happen again, but like, this should be really exciting, guys. I want you to love this business. I want you to love helping others. It should be like an enjoyable thing that, gets you guys really excited and inspired to be a part of this. Getting started. Yeah, I mean, so it kind of hinged on I wanted to share my big goals with you guys. I don't know, it's not too early. I know we're only in November, but start thinking about your January goals. What are your goals next year? Jenny's goal is 5-star diamond. That's huge. I'm really excited about her. I know she can do it. Absolutely. And that's a really awesome goal to have to set for herself. So I'm going to share some of my goals. When Darren was saying, what's your number one goal for 2016? I had several goals that I jotted down. But when Jenny was just talking, I said, you know what, Heather, focus. Like, what is your number one goal? My number one goal for 2016 is to be making $3,000 a week. And that's like the first quarter of 2016. That is my goal, to be making $3,000 a week. It's a big goal. It scares the living crap out of me, but it also is so exciting for me that it lights this fire within me that, like, I want to achieve this for myself. And he said, after you guys, can everyone do that? Can you guys write down right now, what is your number one goal for 2016? Because I feel like if we don't all do it together right now, you don't have to say it out loud, but I feel like I want you guys to write it down, to really think about it and put it out there. And then Darren said after, what's the number one goal or number one skill needed to master to achieve that goal? So what do you have to do in order to achieve that goal? What do you have to master in your business right now in order to get to that goal? And then in order to master that skill, what are you going to do in order to grow, to get yourself to the point that you can master that skill? What do you think it is in personal development that you feel like you need to grow in order to achieve that? Because this is a huge deal. We talk about personal development all the time, but my coach taught me very early on, when I was going through a rough time, she said, well, what is it that you think you need to focus on, Heather? Because I was like, I need a new book. And I was like, I don't know. And she's like, well, you need to decide, because you can't just pick up any personal development book. I mean, you can, but if you guys really want to focus on growing in the areas that you really are struggling in, then you need to take a step back and think about this and think, why would I buy that book? Is it, being able to talk with people? Is it confidence? Is it understanding how to be an entrepreneur? Whatever it is, buy the book that's going to make sense for you, that's going to align with your goals, and that's going to help you to get where you need to be at that moment. I think people ramble off all these books all the time. I will say the reason why I always recommend The Compound Effect in the beginning is because for me, and I think for other people, if you've never read a personal development book and you're at that place where you really need a big change, and you feel like your life is destructive and you really don't even know what step to take, I feel like The Compounded Book is such a strong book, because it really just gets you in that mental state to understand, like Jenny said, like your daily actions add up to be so much bigger and to affect your life in so many ways that you never even realized. For me, that book was mind-blowing. Like Darren Hardy blew my mind, and it's such an easy read. You can read it in a few days if you're a quick reader and if you have the time and can't put it down. But literally, I think I've read it 3 times now, because I just love the book so much, and it always lights this fire within me. So if you guys haven't read it, I highly recommend it. And that's basically what I wanted to cover, guys. I feel really passionate and strong about going into the new year. I'll share some more goals for you guys, and my goals are huge, guys. Like I set goals for myself this past year, and I feel like they were big goals, but I'm realizing now more than ever, how important it is to have a dream board, to have your goals out there, and to be looking at them every day. I'll admit, like as your leader, guys, I am the type of person who I am a very self-motivated person. So I don't always think that I have to write things down. Like I'm like, it's in my head. It's fine. I don't really need to look at it. But when I've started to do that, mine's in a Word doc, because I don't know. I have the worst handwriting in the world, guys, so everything's technical for me. But mine's in a Word doc, and I literally look at it every day, because I also put like, okay, who do I need to send samples to, and who do I need to follow up with, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's something I look at daily, so I make sure of that. So whatever it is, you write it down, do what works for you, but look at it every day, guys, every day. I don't care if it's the weekend. It takes 2 seconds. Take a look at it and reframe and get yourself into that mindset to be like, am I actually working towards those goals? Be honest with yourself. What did I do today in order to get to where I want to be? And at the end of the week, Sunday is a great time for reflection when you're prepping your food and preparing for the week. What am I going to do this week in order to get to where I want to be? So I had a goal to be 10-star diamond by the end of this year. And I feel okay to say that, guys, that's probably not going to happen. It's probably very unrealistic at this point, and I'm okay with that. The closest I will probably get is 9-star, which is still fantastic. And I have to remind myself that it's fantastic and that it's a great goal. And to be honest with you guys, the reason why you set these huge goals is because if I never set that goal for me for 10-star, which seemed really crazy when I said it, I would not be almost a 9-star, if that makes sense. Like, even though I'm not achieving the exact goal I set for myself, I'm a way hell of closer to that goal than I would have been if I never set that goal for myself. So think about those things, set huge goals, because honestly, like a couple of months ago, I was like, oh, can I really hit 10-star? Like, that's crazy. But like, I'm getting so close, guys. So like having that like mental mindset and like seeing it in your mind and doing that every day, like it really does make a difference. And like I said, another one of my huge goals is to be making $3,000 a week by my 2-year anniversary, which is April 26th. So that's another big goal for myself. And that for me would be life-changing to be making that money every week. Another crazy goal is to be 15-star diamond by July 28th, Coach Summit. Crazy goal, guys. Like, I don't know how many people are kind of new on this call, but there are not many 15-star diamonds in this corporation. It's a huge goal that I'm setting for myself. And I'm scared of it, but I'm not, because I'm like, I have a superstar team. You guys are friggin' rocking it. Like, together we can do this. We can achieve the goals that we set for ourselves together. And I truly believe that. And we all work together. And I'm very proud of this team culture and what we are creating. And I want you guys to feel the support. And I want you guys to set big goals for yourselves and to understand that you have the trainings in place. You have the support in place. You can reach out to me at any time. I don't care who your upline is. We are all a family and we are all here for each other. So don't be scared to ever reach out. If you have questions, connect with each other. If you feel like you can relate to someone, it's really, really important to me. Yeah, I mean, and I basically build lots of volume too. Because that's, to become more financially stable is something that is truly something that will impact my life and give me the personal freedom and financial freedom that I'm really looking for. And, I want to hint on that again. I know I've talked about finance a few times on the call, and, I think some people have a really hard time connecting with money and really wanting to do well, and you feel greedy and you don't really you feel weird about it. But at the same time, guys, I really want you, when you're planning your goals for next year, to think about what could that money do for you. Don't look at it as a dollar bill and be like, yeah, look at me, a millionaire. Like, that's not the person you have to be. Like, not at all. You don't need to drastically change your life in order to want this type of money or to be okay with it. You can still work your everyday job. This just allows you the opportunity. Like compare it to like your kids and their future and what you could do for them. You could put them through school. You could build your dream house. You could, maybe it's not even like something, it's kid related, or like feel like you just always have like that support. So you don't need to struggle and feel like you can just do things when you want to do things. Like, you don't have to be this materialistic person in order to dream big and want that income. And I want you guys to connect with that and understand that the amazing part about this business is it's yours. And never be short on your goals. Like, understand how they connect with your why though. Your why is not my why. I mean, my why is constantly changing all of the time. Like, I'm living in Europe. I still have this goal of being completely debt free. I just went back to school to get my MBA, so I'm a little bit away from that. But if I hit the goals that I'm going to set for myself, I'll be doing that by mid next year. I will be paid off all of my debt. One of my new huge goals is retiring my mother. She's not on the call tonight, but it's a huge goal of mine. And it's something like they talk about, like, your why should make you cry. And, honestly, like, being able to do these things for my mother, for my future family, and being able to provide them with the support is something that I never thought possible, guys. Like, I literally never thought that I would be able to create this life. I wanted it and I believed in it, but I didn't believe that I was capable of it, or I would definitely not capable of it in the timeline that I feel like I'm going to get there now. Definitely not. So, be excited about that, guys, and like really think about what this opportunity can do for your life. And like, again, connect it with your goals. My goals aren't your goals, but think about the things that you would want for you and your family and how this opportunity can get you there by simply helping others, guys. And that's the most amazing part too. Like, we're here to help others. So, through these next few months, really, keep reaching out to people, keep earning that trust with people, and, go into the new year, like, full force, like, with your goals in mind, looking at them every day, and just talk to as many people as you can, you know, put that passion out there for the products and how much you love this opportunity and how much like you see like the vision of what it can do for you and your family, and, you know, go after that, guys, and like get excited about it. Cause I'm so excited for all of you to be a part of this team. I feel blessed every day in order to have you guys here with me. So, you know, I thank you for that. And I thank you for putting your trust in me or putting your trust in your upline coach, whoever's on this call. Cause really honestly, like this is real, guys. And it's going to change your life if you allow it to in so many positive ways. And I hope to see all of you guys at Summit. So if you're not already scheduled to go to Summit, I hope you guys buy your ticket today because it's going to be epic and amazing, and it's a life-changing event. So does anyone have any questions on what Jenny and I covered? Or do you guys want to just speak up and say something? Because I always love to hear from you guys. So please don't be shy. No, everyone's going to be shy.
I have a question about bingo.
Okay, yeah.
Are we supposed to, as we do each block, are we supposed to be posting, or just when you get like all of them?
Yeah, just when you get all of them, because I feel like that'd be a lot of posting. So
yeah, I wasn't sure, so I wanted to check.
Yeah,
because I haven't been posting as I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
love games, Heather.
Yay! I was hoping you guys would be excited about it. I was really excited to bring this to you. I thought it'd be something super fun. I know, like, I just posted it, so it takes a little bit to wrap your head around it, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to, I'm trying to get a feel for how it's going to work for you guys, and please provide me your feedback if you feel like, you know, we could do it a little bit differently. It's supposed to be set up right now on a daily basis, so, you know, you would hit those 5 things on a day, which, looking at it, actually, you know, I think it's achievable, but, like, we can talk about it and, you know, think about how it works for you guys, and if you feel like this is something possible and something you guys are excited about and really like doing, because I want to make something that's fun, so, but also help you to get to your goals, obviously.
So you do all those things in one day?
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah.
Good to know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys find that that's not possible, you know, we can talk about making it more of a weekly basis, but the idea is to make sure that people are doing the daily disciplines and, you know, not making excuses for yourself and putting yourself out there and doing the things. So I know we all have busy schedules, but like Darren said, like Jenny said, you really need to take those extra, you know, steps in order to go beyond what you would ordinarily be doing or what other coaches are doing in order to get to where you guys really want to be. So I'm excited to continue to bring these new things to you guys in order to get you pumped up and excited and, you know, hopefully hitting Success Club and you're working towards your other goals that you're setting for yourself. Yeah, Jenny, you can speak up and say thank you if you want.
It's all good. I'm like half asleep anyways. But yeah, no, thank you guys so much. It was so great to see everybody.
All right. Well, I always love chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for calling in. I will post this probably tomorrow morning. Takes like an hour to download. I don't know why it takes so long, but I'll also post the Darren Hardy links for you guys to hopefully, I mean, Lisa, if you did it yesterday, I'm assuming it's still live. So hopefully you guys have the opportunity. If not, we can probably figure out how to zip them to you, or maybe I don't know if I can put them on YouTube if that's maybe not good, but we'll figure something out. So I hope you guys all have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.